What's going on YouTube? Zach here, bringing you episode 21 of TheBarCast. We had some video technical difficulties during this episode, so about the first 9 minutes is audio only, and then you'll get to see our beautiful faces. So without further ado, enjoy.
Where the hell were you last week? Well, anyway, here's what you missed.
Would you rather date a girl who dabbles in crystal meth, or a girl who's really into crystals? Would you rather everybody always sees you naked or always able to read your mind? Was the National Kids Mullet Competition.
Oh, that's adorable. That's the Joe Dirt mullet. That's the Billy Ray Cyrus mullet. That's the don't tell my heart icky.
Would you rather have $10,000 or 10 Lamborghinis that you can't sell? So we got a Florida man here who got arrested because he called the cops to McDonald's because his fries were cold. Welcome to the Barcast with Zach and Kurt, where we answer the stupidest questions on the internet at random dive bars across America. Today we are joined with stand-up comic Jeff Koehn.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So we don't like to waste any time with long intros, so let's just get right into this. First question we ask everybody is, have you ever been in a bar fight?
No, but last week in Vegas, I had 3 or 4 comedians fall into me as they were fighting. And it turns out 2 of them weren't fighting. They were like trying to break up a fight between 2 other comedians. And as soon as I got like kind of out of it, I look up and one of the comics right hooked the other, dropped him to the ground right in front of me. So that's the closest I've ever been to a bar fight. But I've never been in one.
That's good. We almost were in a bar fight recording one time. Had some angry drunks. That was fun.
That was fun for y'all to watch me by myself. I'm like 5'6", 6 foot tall dude looking down at me, and I'm like...
Were they at that stage where they're ready to start throwing punches? Or
it was weird. They were at that stage where they were talking mess, and they were leaning in, but their fists were behind them, so I was like, you look like a kangaroo. I don't know what's going on here.
That's not a good position to
Not a
fight
good
in.
position.
Yeah, then I go to break it up, and his one friend's like, no, man, you just gotta let him work it out. Just let him work it out. And he's just smoking a cigarette. I'm just like, all right, sounds good. I don't really want to get involved.
Right.
Thanks for having my back. That takes that.
I'm pretty much sober most of the time, so I feel like that, helps me avoid a bar fight.
Get out of the conflict. All right, first question. Would you rather, every time you sneeze, fight the nearest person to you, or not know the difference between a baby and a muffin?
Oh, easily the not know the difference between a baby and a muffin, because worst case scenario, I think they both taste pretty good. I'm assuming.
Just see a walking muffin going around?
Just a walking muffin, and making noise, Cuckoo gaga. Okay, is that cinnamon raisin or what?
Did that muffin just call me mama? What's going on here?
What are you taking, Kurt?
I'm taking the get in a fight because I don't want to accidentally eat a baby, man. I'm not Armie Hammer. I'm not eating anybody.
Just accidentally going to sneeze and we're just going to start going at it
I'm
during
like,
the
why when I
podcast.
bit into this biscuit is there tears coming from it? This is very awkward. I'm not enjoying this.
And you don't feel smarter after biting into it. That's the weird thing.
That's the weird thing. I'm like,
All right, if you could get wasted with God, what would you drink with him?
Oh, let me think about that. White Russian. I mean, I just love White Russian,
That's a good one.
It's just a tasty drink,
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, don't... there's a beverage here, man.
Hold the beverage here, man. It's on my rug, man.
I'd probably just, I don't know, I'd probably ease him into it with something just basic, like a Coors with the Blue Mountains. Nice crisp Coors to drink.
I could see that because it's just like a little warm-up kind of drink.
Yeah, he just shows up, first beer of the night, here you go.
Yeah.
For me, it would be wine because Jesus made water into wine. But I would get I would get Thunderbird wine, the real cheap wine. I'd get that Thunderbird wine just to show God how humble I am.
I've heard of that. I've never had it.
It's rough wine, dude. I drank 2 bottles of that one time back in Texas, and I had to take Alka-Seltzer the rest of the night because my stomach was. I had bubble guts. It was bad.
Well, the worst alcohol that I've ever had. My brother's best friends graduated. This is back in the '80s. I'm from Wisconsin originally, and there was this beer called Grain Belt beer, and I think some farmer made it. And it was worse than like generic beer if you've ever had that.
I've had it.
And I had like 7 of them. And back then, See, like now, I have like 0 alcohol tolerance, but I'm a big guy. I weigh like 280. Back then, I weighed like 140.
Oh man.
So, I mean, it was blackout.
This is good trash.
Worst beer that I ever had was called Big Flats.
What was it called?
It was called Big Flats, and it was a beer. I used to work at Walgreens, and it was basically Walgreens' own beer, and it was $2.99 for a 6-pack.
Oh,
So I took it home to my apartment, and I drank a whole 6-pack, and I went, that tasted horrible. Then I stood up, and my leg said, wrong neighborhood, cuz, and I fell right on my face.
Oh, man.
Never again.
I hate when that happens. For me, that usually happens when I get out of the dentist chair too early.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, the shit hasn't worn off yet, son.
All right, for this next question, so I wrote this before the Queen she was still alive, so we need to use our imagination a little bit.
All right.
But the world depends on you fulfilling one of the following 2 tasks. The first task, you have a 5-minute conversation with the Queen of England. At some point during the conversation, you have to work in the phrase, aggressive backdoor action. If Lizzie says the word what at any point 10 seconds after you work in that phrase, the world explodes. The second option you can choose is you have to play against a current NBA player of your choice, one-on-one. He attacks repeatedly the hoop for 20 minutes straight. You have to stop him 2 times. If you don't stop him twice, the world explodes, and there's no convincing him to go easy.
Yeah, I like the one about working in the, what is it, backdoor, hard, aggressive backdoor action.
Yeah.
I just like that because it's just, there's so many comedic stories that can come out of
From
that.
that. I feel like you could work it in pretty easy.
But then you said that if
You can work it in
I
pretty
could work it
easily.
in, yeah. Well, unlike most people, I don't need lube. I don't know why, but that's just a fact. Fun fact.
Fun facts with Jeff. My name's Jeff.
What are you picking, Kurt?
I'm gonna pick the Queen one, but instead of what was it, the backdoor action? Can
Aggressive
I say
backdoor action?
the backdoor bum action? Because they say bum, like I got a bum.
Hello.
Hello,
I do like my bum.
would you like to do some backdoor action to my bum and rub some crumpets that are hopefully not babies?
That would work.
You also have to work in it.
Oh, yeah, in it.
Wrongly. It's like, well, I haven't got any in it. I haven't got any lube in it.
Can I rub some crumpets on your bum, please?
All right, here's another one for you, Jeff. You get the opportunity to take one free throw for $1 million, but if you miss it, you lose a finger. Are you taking it?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I've got several fingers that I don't need.
You're like,
and
I'm
I would
taking at
rather-
least 3 or 4 shots
Yeah,
if I don't hit that.
I mean, they're in the way anyway, you know.
What about you?
For me, I would do that because if a finger, I mean, as long as it's not my butt scratching finger, I'm good.
I'd probably do it too if you could take a couple shots.
Yeah.
First point, as soon as you lose one, I mean, you already lost a finger. You might as well keep going.
Yeah, dude.
At some point, you got to double down.
If they give you that
$1
option.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, but you only get 1 million. You can't do multiple shots.
No, just 1 million.
Because that would be cool.
Ooh, that would be better.
I would risk it, and I would just try to make it because $1 million, you never have to work again, and you can get the most beautiful woman in the world that loves you for you.
Well, okay, first of all, you may not have to work again. I've got a lot of gambling debts.
Oh no.
So I need at least 5 mil to cover that. And
Oh,
break
shit.
even. And I don't know, a woman who loves you for you, that's hard. I mean, you need enough money to like relocate to Amish country.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
those are the only ladies that I think have pure souls anymore.
Yeah, but they got more
No
hair.
knock on ladies in general. I'm just saying we all have.
Yeah, but they got more hair than me, man. No, I'm not fucking with that.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw this student in Utah got arrested by the FBI the other day because he threatened to blow up a nuclear reactor if their college football team lost this week.
Man,
That's dedication, is what that is.
If the FBI was going after him, like, it had to have some credibility to it.
I don't know. I feel like they're trying to drum up some extra business these days.
You ain't lying. Good lord.
It's like, wait, you're running a lemonade stand without a proper 1099 form. Arrest her!
Arrest her.
Get her.
It's like,
Could you imagine you see that episode on Cops? It's like bad boys. It's like a Girl Scout girl running, flipping off the cops. Fuck you, copper.
well, there's this new because Cops ended, but now on YouTube there's a channel called Real World Police, and so not only do they show here's an officer being really cool, but the guy's an asshole. But then sometimes it's like here's an asshole cop and a really cool driver. and they take you through the whole interrogation and all that kind of stuff. And there's always that voiceover. And in the end, sorry, I'm taking too much time.
No, dude, all the time you want.
That's all it's about.
Here's why I'm bringing that up. The star of Real World Police, there's a guy in Florida named Jeremy DeWitt, who he is on there at least twice a week. What he is, so he's a cop wannabe. He created his own funeral escort business, but he and his team, they bought all these vehicles that look like cop cars, but they're just this shy of being legal, basically. And then they act like dicks in traffic and pull people over, which they're not allowed to do. So he gets arrested all the time. And right now, he should be in jail for 20 years with all the bullshit he's pulled. But my theory is that he has a friend in the court system that keeps him out. Yeah. Actually, my theory now is that it may not be a friend. It just might be somebody who's making money off of him being like a YouTube star. You know.
Well, I like that idea, but I'll tell you a funny story with when I got pulled over by a cop. Because back in the day, back in Texas, the cops were real thick on the road, and I got pulled over, and the cop pulls me over, and he goes, "You know, I stopped you," and I go, "Isn't that your job? Get the hell out of the car!" I was like, "Oh God, all right."
Yeah, they don't like it when you smart off to them.
But that's like a teacher saying, like asking you something, and I'm like, "Isn't that your job to know that?" I did that in school too, and got kicked out. They're like, "All right, Kurt, first president of the United States. Shouldn't you know that? Get outside." Okay, now I ain't learning shit.
I was very compliant until my senior year, and then I don't know what it was. I became a rebel, kind of. And I remember one day in class, this memory just popped in my head after all these years. We had this guy Adrian, who was an exchange student from Australia, and like the last day of school, he brought like a slideshow for us to watch, and it was like his house back in Perth, Australia, you know. And he comes to this one, and this is our cherry tree. And it was like a close-up of the cherries. And I just blurted out, "We don't have too many of those around here." And like all the dudes in the class were like, "Dude, nice, awesome, high five." And all the women were like, oh my God. And I'm like, to me, the ones that got offended were they were the ones that were guilty of what I was inferring.
Yeah.
Is it bad that every time somebody mentions Australia, I just crave a Foster's lager?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure that's not just me.
What you expect?
I mean, Foster's
It's a good beer.
For a lager, it's like
great.
straight up great. Yeah.
I love it.
So I saw this other thing of the top 10 websites that the most money was spent on by like Americans this year.
Okay.
And like it was pretty basic. Like you had number 1 was Amazon, number 2 OnlyFans, number 3 eBay, but number 6 was Long John Silver's.
Oh, that's still around?
Who's buying Long John Silver's? And who's buying it online?
That's really.
Are they money laundering?
You're right. That has to be some kind of either money laundering or tax evasion or a tax shelter, something. Because I don't know, man. Like I'm not.
Long John
See,
Silver's.
for me, fish and chips, that's a nice diversion every now and then. But I go Arthur Treacher's for like quality. Or better yet, if you're around this area, Denver area, there's that Great Britain fish and chips.
Oh, yeah.
And it's straight up like, you know, going back to the, you know, oh, jolly old England. Oh, God, I'm not going to do accents.
Jolly old England.
A proper chippy, you know, that's... So my friend Doug, you know, he spent years over at Alconbury Air Force Base. So for, 18 years, so he knows the limey culture better than anyone, and he's like, yeah, that's a proper chippy right there.
We had one in Texas in Galveston that we used to go to, but I haven't heard of a Long John Silver's in a while, but I do know that Long John Silver's would be my porn name if I was a porn star.
Okay. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Oh, by the way, we're not going to get sued by Long John Silver's for trash talking them, are we?
No, we've also trash talked BW3, so.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's interesting because last week in Vegas, so I was competing in World Series of Comedy, and one of the guys that made it to the overall top 3, his real name is Leon Moore Janasi. Hysterical, but for a long time, his stage name was Long John the Comedian.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I wonder if, and he changed it like real quick right before the World Series. So I think he got some bad fish, and that's why he changed it. That's my theory.
You had to change it. Do you ever a joke that was like, that's why I'm gonna be a stand-up comic? What was like your first joke moment that you realized?
My joke or hearing a joke from somebody?
Either or both.
Well, I think for me, over the years, like little seeds were planted along the way. And I think that me telling that cherry joke in English class, that might have been the first like little seed. The joke that I remember hearing that made me go, oh, I want to do this, was this guy, a very well-known comedian named Troy Baxley, where he talks about, he goes, Oprah, she's back to big Oprah. Sometimes she's skinny Oprah, now she's big again. And her excuse, she blames it on thyroid. I don't know what the heck that is, but it must be fucking delicious. And it's just, I'm like, oh man, I love comedy.
For me, like to get into try to do skits and stuff, it was growing up because like I grew up in the 80s too. Like I grew up, like I was born in 1980, so I grew up with Rodney Dangerfield, man.
Oh.
Rodney Dangerfield to me
I'll tell you.
He's no respect. He's the best comedian of all time, in my opinion. That was the one-liners. My God, dude.
Well, and he would just rip through them rapid fire. It was so great.
Like the Halloween joke where he goes, "I'm so ugly, the trick-or-treaters give me candy." That was so funny. That was so good.
Have you ever had a joke bomb that you're like, this is hilarious, and you're just no?
I mean, that's a regular thing for comics, from night to night. And I literally do comedy every night, whether it's a paid showcase like tonight or, the typical Wednesday night I'm doing usually 2 to 3 open mics. And you're going to bomb. The way you worded the question is more like a joke that I really love.
Yeah, you really believe
think is going to work, and then when it doesn't.
Yeah.
That happen, and when that happens, it's just like, damn it.
You're like, come on.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
And you just have to, what I do, I record every set, and then when I get home I listen to it, and I'm like, well, okay, like Monday night, at 2 mics in a row, the same joke bombed. And then when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, well, I'm placing it in the wrong part of the set.
Yeah.
And like opening with a joke like that, the crowd's going to be, oh, geez, like you have to let them get to know you a little bit, and then you can go darker.
You gotta ease into it.
Oh, you want to hear the joke, by the way?
Yeah, we wanted. That was the next question.
So it's like I have a hard time telling if a woman is interested in me. So when I meet a new woman, I like to give her the kiss test. And what that is, I gently kiss her on the back of the neck. And if she goes, ooh, yeah, baby, I like it. Well, then that tells me this chick is one cool Uber driver. And so, so I got 0 stars on Uber. But if you say that joke right away, sometimes that's a little too jarring right out of the gate. Yeah. And but I love the joke.
That was a good one.
Yeah. No, thanks.
Do you have any good Uber stories? Any crazy Uber drivers?
God, should I tell the one that just happened? No. I'll tell this one. 4 years ago, I'm coming back from the Rise Comedy Theater, which is down on 22nd. Get picked up, and this Uber driver right away, he's just, I think he's on meth. Because he's just like, like all that. And he goes, what's going on, man? I go, oh, just getting out of a comedy show. Oh, yeah? Oh, you comedian? And like already he's being a dick. I'm like, yeah, you could say that. I'm a comedian. Yeah. Who's your favorite comic? And I'm like, like you, I go for the easy, obvious one. I'm like, Rodney Dangerfield. I fucking hate Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh.
And I'm like, uh-oh.
He would have got punched if you said that to me.
Like he was. And I'm like, it's okay, cool, whatever. I didn't want to get in a fight. And he goes, well, tell me a joke. And I'm like, no, not if you're...
Do you hate that question?
Just hate it?
Well, I hate it because, for the most part, okay, first of all, like the joke I told you, the Uber thing, I'm surprised you laughed at all because this isn't really, we're not in a club, and comedy doesn't necessarily work if I'm not on stage and there's not a...
No, that was a good joke. Man.
But I appreciate that. But a lot of times, if I tell a joke in an Uber... Okay, let me backtrack. Sometimes I'll use the Uber to test a joke. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Because what I'll do is I'll try to just work it into the conversation where they don't know it's a joke.
It's a joke.
And then if they like, oh, that's funny, then I'm like, okay, I'll try it at the open mic. But if they say, tell me a joke, I'm like, they're not going to laugh because you're building up too much. So I wouldn't tell the guy a joke, and he's like, well, that's a fucking ripoff. And he's just all pissy. And then we get up to my place, and he's about to drop me off, and he goes, well, hey, man, it was nice meeting you. Hope you have a better night. And he goes to shake my hand. I stupidly reach out my hand, and he just latches on and, like, death grips it. Like, I think he's going to, like, pull me in and try to cold cock me or something. So I'm just, like, I'm using the other hand to rip my hand out and literally, like, have to fall out of his car, and then he speeds off. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. So I immediately reported him. I'm like, you got some, like, methed up freak on the road. You know? And so they call me back, and they're like, well, are you injured? And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm kind of bruised. And they're like, okay, well, I mean, the best we can do, we can just make sure that you don't get matched with him again.
Oh, my God.
Oh, is that it? You're not going to fire him or
you just won't get him again. Don't worry.
Don't worry. We'll take care of it. Whenever I hear "don't worry, we'll take care of it,"
that means
that's like the Catholic Church that does that shit.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, we'll take care of it.
Yeah, we'll just relocate him.
Relocate him.
Oh, there's a joke in there. Yeah, you won't be matched with that priest again.
Yeah, you won't be that one. Instead of Christian mingle, priest mingle.
Priest mingle. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I had a deaf Uber driver one time. We got up in her minivan on the way back from the bar, and we were just trashed. And we get in the car and sit down. She just starts driving off. And she gets onto, like, the highway on-ramp, starts speeding up, but the door is still wide open.
Oh, no.
And we're buckled in, and me and my friend are sitting there like, what do we do?
I'll take one. Okay.
Well, I've heard that Lyft versus Uber, one of them doesn't quite do as thorough of, like, a background check. I won't say which one, but
I'll tell you a story that happened to me where it wasn't nothing to do. The Uber experience was fine, but I was getting ready. I always took Ubers because I'm on his dodgeball team, and we drink there, and I never drink and drive.
Yeah.
So my Uber was right there, and I'm running, and it was snowing, and I'm running, and I'm like, hey, right, and then I hit the snow, and I fly in the air, and I fall right on my butt, and then I stand up. I look around, and I open the door, and I get in, and she goes, could you tell me the number in your phone? Because, you know, the number, you have to give it to him.
Oh, right.
I gave him the number, and then she's driving, and I'm seeing her at the steering wheel, and she's going.
She's trying to stifle the whole thing.
God, that hurt so bad. When I got to dodgeball, Zach was like, what happened to your arm? Because I was just scratched.
All right, if you had to get a lip tattoo, Jeff, what would it say?
If I had to get a what?
Lip tattoo.
Lip tattoo?
Yeah, like
on my
bottom
lips?
lip.
I thought he said lip.
Like the inside of your lip.
Let me think about that a second. I have some ideas. This end up. And then think of that what you may.
That's a good one. You have one, Kurt?
For like I have lips and it says something.
No, like a tattoo on the inside of your lip.
A tattoo on your lip.
Yeah, inside of your lip. You get like a smiley face, like a no regrets.
Mine would say like free mustache ride.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, good advertisement.
That is a good one right there.
What about you? Putting the question back to you.
That's a tough one. I'd probably do like, I don't know, something like publicity like that too, like subscribe or like TheBarCast. Or like maybe the ball
like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Or maybe like the ball gazer sign, like got him, you know?
Oh yeah, no, that's a good one.
That would get somebody across the bar.
Yep.
And that free mustache rides, I totally stole that from the movie Mask. Remember the movie Mask with Cher?
Oh yeah.
Remember Sam Elliott, who has always been old? He had a shirt that said free mustache rides.
Oh, I forgot that he had that. I thought that the mustache ride thing was a newer thing.
Nah, I totally stole it from that shirt he wore.
Well, and then look at his mustache. Like,
dude, how? In the movie Roadhouse, he was old.
Yeah.
And he was old in the 80s, and he looks the same now.
Exactly. Yeah. He is eternally 55 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
So oldish, but yeah. And then I just remember those lines. The dialogue in Roadhouse are just some of the best ever.
Oh, goodness.
And
I love that
what was the guy? My favorite line, it's just the perfect, intimidating. Well, see, now if you heard what I'm about to say, if you heard this line now, everybody would be like, oh, yeah, you know. But in 1988, when that came out, you didn't hear as much of that in pop culture. There had that big fight scene at the end, and the guy's like moving in on Patrick Swayze, and he goes, this is gonna be fun. I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, oh my God, you know.
It's kind of like in the movie, the movie with Van Damme, was it called Lionheart? Lionheart, I think it's called Lionheart, where he's fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that guy goes, "You're kind of pretty. I don't know if I want to fight you or fuck you." I'm like, what? I don't understand. But Roadhouse, my favorite line of Roadhouse is where he goes, and what if somebody calls my mama a whore? And Patrick Swayze, is she?
I like that. You're right about
That's a great movie, by the way.
What movie have you watched the most in your lifetime?
Oh, man. Okay, let's see.
Like for me, it would probably be like a Christmas one, like A Christmas Story probably, or maybe like Elf. I feel like
those are fantastic. I mean, I look like Ralphie in the Christmas Story, but I lean toward Big Lebowski.
That's a good movie.
I've probably seen that 100 times. I think there's this one is only I've only started rewatching it lately, but fantastic movie. It's called Running Scared. With Billy Crystal and
that's a great movie with
Buddy Cox, Chicago.
The Motown dancer guy.
Yeah.
Great movie. That movie's hilarious.
It's incredible, and it's funny because at the time it came out like the year after Beverly Hills Cop, and critics were like, "Oh, it's just trying to be Beverly Hills Cop," but no,
it's completely different.
Way different.
It's completely mine. For me, there were two movies that I watch all the time, and I answered this before, but I answered again. Return of the Jedi, because that's my favorite movie of all time,
that's great.
and Monster Squad. Those are my two favorites of all time.
Monster Squad, yeah.
Wolfman's got nards.
When it came out, at least on DVD, the other guys with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. Probably watched that 30 times in a row. Just so hilarious.
Another good movie, my favorite comedy of all time, was Hot Rod with Andy Samberg. Oh my God, that movie is so funny.
Great movie. Yep.
That's a fantastic movie.
There's too many to name. I mean,
Great Outdoors.
Who was in that?
John Candy, Dan Aykroyd. Big Bear Chase Me.
I've seen that only one time.
Oh my God, you need to watch it again. That movie's great.
Oh, here, settle a debate for us. We had this on the last podcast, this question. How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant? Personally, here's where I'm at. I said like 200, and Kurt said 25.
If they have big peckers, 25 could take one.
Nice. All right. Well, I don't know if this will fuck up the debate, but one. If you take a frozen chicken on one of those launchers, because they would test windshields.
Oh, yeah.
If you hit the elephant right there between
That's
the eyes,
a good answer.
boom, he's dead.
We didn't say if it was alive or dead.
Right. True. So I guess you have to go closest to what I think you win because you said 25. That's the low number.
Because if they have peckers and they're aggressive, they could take an elephant.
Oh, for sure. And elephants are terrified. They're slow and terrified easily. I mean, there used to be cartoons on how, get rid of an elephant, just put a mouse in there because they freak out over mice. A chicken is not much bigger and not much tastier.
Okay. I got a funny story to tell y'all that my friend didn't understand, but I think you'll understand it. Jeff, okay. I was watching Tiny Toons, right? With my friend has a DVD of it, and we were watching it. And there was one scene where I was drinking beer, and I was laughing so hard I was crying. We had to pause it because it was the Babs Bunny was watching a newsreel that goes on tonight's news. The cast of what was the name? Different Strokes. With the little black kid.
Yeah.
The cast of Different Strokes were apprehended today after robbing a bank, and it showed a picture of him, right? And it had the one black kid, and he was like he was real small, and then it had his brother who was tall, and then it had the girl in a bikini with the BDSM mask. And I am telling you, I died. I died. I was laughing so hard, and my friend goes, "Why are you laughing so hard?" I go, "Because she later became a porn star." That's what made it so funny.
Well, sadly, meth and coke and all that other stuff, the typical Hollywood story.
God, that was so funny to me, though, that they would put that in a kid's cartoon.
That's so perfect. I can picture it.
Yeah.
And I can picture that also in Mad or Crack magazine as their, cartoon version, That's hilarious.
Once I explained the joke, he started cracking up. That was so funny.
Nice.
All right, if aliens come down to Earth and we have to pick one person to be the ambassador of the human race, who are you picking to meet with them? For me, it's got to be Scottie Pippen. Or no, not Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman.
Oh.
I mean, he can meet with Kim Jong-un. Dude, he's going to make peace with aliens, too.
That's true. I mean, by the way, you should go to YouTube and search the comedian Rory Scovel, because he talks about how Rodman went over there and how they must have had a tiff because that shortly after Kim Jong-un was threatening that he could nuke Chicago. We have a thing that can nuke Chicago, and we're like, okay, can you reach like North Carolina? No, we can't. We're not good enough. But it's a great bit. And so you chose Dennis Rodman to be the ambassador because it's like I get way too analytical on this stuff. Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, you have to have somebody that can easily give them like a great overview of who we are as a species, and it's like, but somebody that they would respect also. I mean, God, I just think Obama. I'm not trying to be funny, but Obama has that charm. He's just,
him and Bill Clinton together.
They're both
charm,
and they'll both get them laid.
Yeah.
There's the joke. Come on.
My answer is Arnold Schwarzenegger, because anybody that can get their wife pregnant and the help pregnant at the same time, that's a legend.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think for me it'll be the Obama-Clinton hybrid.
There you go.
That's my answer.
Smooth talking right there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen an alien? Or do you believe in aliens?
I sort of. I think that they are other than what Hollywood and makes them out to be. I think there's like a hidden aspect. Yeah. Jacques Vallée, who was a great UFO researcher back in the 70s, he said that his first impression was that they seemed to be like an interdimensional, like almost like a spiritual, metaphysical type being.
That's what I think Bigfoot is.
A Bigfoot too? Yeah, very well could be.
That's why we can't see him, because he was just an alien traveler that was here and left.
Oh yeah. But I've also heard the theory that aliens are us from the future coming back to try to put us on a better class. I don't know.
Well, damn, we're not doing a good job then.
No shit. Well, we don't want to listen to them.
Yeah. What about ghosts?
Ghosts?
You ever seen a ghost?
No, but I've seen some freaky shit that ghosts would kind of explain. Door slamming. Like one night when I was in 5th grade, there was a severe thunderstorm, and I was like scared, so I went and laid down on the floor in my parents' bedroom.
I used to do that too, man.
Yeah, I did that.
I don't know why I was at your parents' bedroom, but it was weird.
It was nice. Oh, you're going to Marinette, Wisconsin just to... Yeah, I hear they're good. I want to hear them. Now, I just remember what stopped that behavior was I heard them having sex one of those nights, and it still affects me to this day. Like now, I have to watch porn on mute because it's just the sound. Anyway, tried to sneak it in.
That was a good one.
Was it though? I don't think... Well, anyway. So anyway, I'm in there, I'm laying, the whole house is dark, the rain stops and everything, and then I wake up at like 2 a.m, and I'm just kind of looking around in the darkness, and then all of a sudden, my bedroom light down the hall goes on and off like 5 or 6 times. It could have been my brother, but like I kind of snuck down the hallway and looked around, nobody was in there, his bedroom door was locked, so... Ghosts were fucking with me.
Well, dude, ghosts are real, man. Like, I've seen ghosts. I used to work at a haunted theater in Texas City, Cinemark 12. There was a construction worker that died while they were making it. And when I got out of college, that was my first job. And I was working there because I did not pay attention in college. But anyway, so when I was working there, and it was 2 a.m, and I was in one of the theaters, and I saw a construction worker sitting at the front, no bullshit, and I was like, "Excuse me, sir," and then he disappeared, and I did not have that job that much longer.
Wow. Yep, I could see. I don't know. I think that, I also, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I had like this big Jesus religious awakening or whatever. So I started going to church. And in the church, it's like, I think there's legitimate beliefs, but then I think the church throws in all kinds of extra garbage and stuff that you don't need. And one of those was that, well, all Hollywood and all rock and roll music is of the devil, and all drugs are of the devil, and they even said that if you encounter a ghost, that's not really a person, that's
that's a demon
pretending to be a person.
Now, I do believe that happens.
So I could see that happening, but you're also writing off, like, to say that that's just everything.
Yeah.
And they say that about aliens also, that, they're demons and they're not really aliens. But people have found, like, physical stuff So I don't know. Sorry, that was too long.
I like
No, that was a
you
good
sound
one.
like Johnny Carson. They found physical, wild stuff. Physical stuff.
Did you know that? Weird, wild stuff. Physical evidence.
And we're back with part 2. We're going to go rapid fire questions here for you, Jeff. First question. If you had to win a game show to stay alive, what game show would you go on?
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune?
Okay. Would you rather hook up with 1980s Kirstie Alley or 1990s Jamie Lee Curtis?
Oh, current Jamie Lee Curtis.
Hey, I'm down with that.
Yeah. And, I mean, she's still amazing.
She still looks good, dude. I would
Gets
totally
better
hit that.
with age,
I would
yeah.
knock that granny shit down.
All right, who would win in a race? Joey Chestnut or Usain Bolt? It's a 100-meter race, but they have to eat a whole hot dog first.
Usain Bolt, because I mean, have you seen his he could eat like 50 hot dogs, and his reach on those legs, he's got amazing legs. Yeah, Usain Bolt.
I don't know if he's ever ate a hot dog before with his diet.
No,
what
they
does he
do
eat?
have a lot of protein,
Maybe.
so I'm sure he
They
has.
have protein, but they also have the vegan alternative. So yeah, I could see that.
Okay. Super Mario Brothers 2 or Mega Man 2?
Oh, Super Mario's.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with Super Mario Brothers.
It's classic.
It's
They-
classic.
They hit all the buttons. It's great.
All right, would you rather be handcuffed to Jackson Mahomes for one whole year or have to carry a 45-pound plate around for the rest of your life?
Mahomes. You know, because the adventures that you're going to get into automatically. There's just no. And plus, I'm weak. 45 pounds. Yeah, I'm not. That's not
They're
happening.
gonna be like, can you just stop dancing for 2 minutes so I can take a piss?
Okay. Better Christmas movie. A Christmas Story or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Oh boy, yeah, the Christmas Vacation.
Right here.
Just because, and you'll agree with me, the spray thing on the sled and when he goes flying, that's the best scene.
Not only that, my favorite scene in that, and I do it every year, I will get eggnog and I'll send the video to my mom and dad and I'll say, all right, Mom asked me, and they'll be like, how you doing? And I'm like,
Oh, okay. There's 3, if you don't mind me.
Yeah, go for it. That's the way you're
for it.
supposed to. There's no.
So there's 3 of the best scenes in any comedy movie. When Julia Louis-Dreyfus and the hot boyfriend are outside coming back to their house, and he's got the giant Christmas tree, and he goes, "Where do you think you're going to fit that?" Or how? What did he say?
and he goes, God, where are you going to fit that? And he's like, bend over and I'll show you. You're way out of line. I wasn't talking to you.
I wasn't talking to you. Yeah.
I have-
the look on their faces.
I have a Christmas ornament of that, and he says, bend over and I'll show you. And then you hear the chainsaw.
Oh, nice.
That is the greatest Christmas movie.
So that's one of the lines, and then where Uncle Eddie just looks at him and goes, "Shitter was full," and then another scene where just from Chevy Chase's angle, he says, "What are you looking at, Clark?" Just some idiot out in the street emptying a chemical toilet into the storm drain. Or how did it go? I'm butchering.
Yeah, you're right. No, I was saying my favorite thing that we used to say when I worked at Walgreens, it's the gift that keeps on giving all year round, Clark. That it is, Eddie, that it is.
Would you rather have an alligator living in your house one random month out of the year, or have to catch a chicken every time you want to get your car keys?
Oh, so the chicken is like running around with my car
Yeah,
keys.
you got to catch it.
I'm going the chicken because, boy, it'll improve my hand-eye coordination, burn more calories than probably anything. I would get back to being thin again.
It's a nice workout.
And you would have every girl 2 tickets to the gun show.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, here's my last question for you.
Right.
Monster Squad or Goonies?
Just Goonies, yeah.
I gotta go with Monster
Well,
Squad.
I feel you, but for me, just the memories, the nostalgia of the Goonies. Like my second date ever, we went to see the Goonies.
Oh, nice.
And don't remember the movie because we were making out in the theater, and
Nice.
I just thought I was on top.
Nice, I was 5. That's good. That's good. I was
And he was
5
such a nice guy. Dumb misdirect.
That was fun.
All right, it's time that we go into our last segment of the podcast, which is our copycat segment of the week.
I like calling it copycast. Call it copycast.
Copycast.
Cast, okay.
It's where we take a segment from another podcast and do it on ours because we're not original.
Oh, I got
So
it.
today we're going to be doing a segment from Part of My Take, which is a Mount Rushmore draft, and we're going to be drafting the best teams.
The best teams based on.
And we're each going to pick 3 items. And today's topic,
Food items.
3 food
Food
items. Today's topic is items in a food fight. And since you're a guest, Jeff, we're going to let you go first.
Okay, just 3 items?
No, you get to pick one, then I pick one, then Kurt picks two,
we do it 3,
and then we
like,
go down. It's
kinda
like a fantasy
if
football.
The first pick of the NBA draft, and then you go back around.
Okay. Cheesecake.
Cheesecake? Ooh, that's a good one. For me, I'm going to go with spaghetti.
Ooh,
That's going to get a lot of people.
Yep.
Collateral damage.
I'm going with frozen Tombstone pizzas because when you throw it, it's going to hurt like hell when it knocks people
Yeah,
out.
it'll stay airborne. It's
Yes,
like
it will.
Frisbee.
It'll be a disc.
Yeah.
You're back on the clock again, Kurt.
My next pick would have to be Coca-Cola because I'm going to open it and get everybody sticky. And I didn't realize how creepy that sounded.
For me, I'd probably have to go with like Uncrustables. A bunch of those, man.
Oh.
Those sandwiches, those fly like ninja stars.
Yeah.
You're going to get people.
I'm trying to think of like viscosity and like I might be no. You know what? I'll go with my first instinct that I didn't say in the first round. Cucumber.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a missile, and if you get hit by one of those, holy shit!
You're going to be taking somebody out.
Yep. Or give them accidental pleasure. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if Jenna Jameson is in that food fight, she'll be happy.
All right, you're back on the clock with your final pick.
Gotta go with Wendy's Baconators.
Oh yeah, that'll kill people.
Because you're hitting every texture.
You're getting everything.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with like probably some grapes. Just a little shotgun blast.
Yep.
Just hit a little everybody.
Now, since I'm evil, I'm gonna get a time machine and I'm gonna go back in time in the 50s when the milkman delivered those milks that were in
the glass bottles?
and I'm taking those back to current time and I'm knocking people out with the glasses with the milk.
Ooh, okay.
God dang.
I'm violent. I want to win, baby.
Playing for
How about
keeps.
this? Here's an added little evil for you.
Go for it.
They're also expired milk.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that now you're covering someone in just rancid, smelly, nasty, sour milk.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good pick. That's a sleeper for the last pick. All right, that's all for our podcast. Thanks for watching.
All right.
Be sure to drop a like and subscribe. We're giving away a toaster at 10K. Jeff, tell them where to find you.
So on Instagram, Koehn.Jeff. My last name is spelled Koehn. On YouTube, Jeff Koehn Comedy. My website is www.jeffkoehncomedy.com. And then on Twitter, Jeff Koehn Comedian.
I'll tag them all down below too.
Thanks for having me.
Doo-doo-doo.